To welcome people, to invite others in, is one of the great tasks of our community. We are different from a lot of other religious communities because we make a point not to say, if you say these words, then you belong. We instead say, you belong, come teach us your words. But that's in theory, but in practice it doesn't always happen. And so we work at it, and this past weekend I went to a workshop on intercultural communication. And I was introduced to a theory by Milton J. Bennett. It's the intercultural development research, developmental model. And he says there's 5 basic steps. And I've already kind of gone through them today when I went through peace, but I'm going to kind of talk about more specifically what he says. And the first stage is the denial of difference. People in this experience just don't know about cultural differences. They might have superficial ideas, but they doesn't really enter their mind. And that's how I grew up. I grew up in an all-white town of Rogers City, Michigan. Part of my culture is I have to show you on my hand where that is. And I just felt that my experience was normal. Everyone was Christian. There was no other option. Everybody danced the polka, drank beer, swam in the summer, and snowmobiled in the winter. And there was a dim awareness of other parts of the world. The most important question was, who are you from home? Which was a kind of Polish transliteration into English, but we all knew what it meant. Who are you from home meant that, who are your parents? That's what any adult would ask you, and that way they would know where you fit in the tapestry of the town. The second stage is the defense against difference. As I grew older, I realized there were differences. Other cultures were strange and less than. We were 50 miles south of the Mackinac Bridge. North of the bridge was the Upper Peninsula, called the UP, and the people who lived there were Yoopers. They were poor, ignorant, and dirty. The people south of us were from down below, double entendre attended. The people, they were rich, stuck up, and snobby. They were the tourists who came to Mackinac Island to buy fudge. We called them fudgies. Now, we also experienced that some white people moved up from downstate to get away from the blacks. They had no problem telling us that that's why they were here. And these were terrible kids. They misbehaved, and we thought, well, this is how the white people behave. The black people must be even worse. And so we had a really sheltered and odd sense. There was that thing that people from Detroit were bad regardless of race. And we were proud to be an industrial town. Other northern cities were tourist towns and depended upon the fudgies. And then there's another defense that people make, is to kind of see another culture as superior. I am my lining one own. And this is a kind of a thing of being a false ally. And I had a little bit of this, because during the day we had only one local radio station. Played polka and country music. And they had on-air swap meets like, I have a chicken coop that I'm willing to exchange for a new car. Please call me here. And that was sponsored by Brubaker's Bargain Barn, and that's how I started each morning. But at night, the AM superstations like WLS in Chicago could be tuned in, and I'd hear the soul music of Billy Preston and Al Green. And then on TV, I was fascinated by Flip Wilson and Louis Armstrong. Black culture seemed a heck of a lot more exciting than my hometown. The third step is the minimalization of difference. And we experience this as having arrived at intercultural sensitivity. Defense is given away to the recognition of the common humanity of all people, regardless of culture. We are the world, we are the children. And this is where most UUs, and myself included, reside most of the time, because this is a very self-satisfied step. You know, I am a minister of a church that affirms and promotes the inherent worth and dignity of all people. And the world would be better if people just got over their differences and realized we were equal. This equality is noble, but it can be false, because it minimizes real differences. I had a feminist girlfriend in college, and she told me that she didn't trust men. I pointed out that, hi, I'm a man. And she said, but you're so different, so kind and gentle. I don't see you as a man. Now, I'm sure she meant that to be welcoming, but it's troubling when someone you're dating doesn't realize your gender. I was an okay man because I wasn't so macho. And so she thought that being a man was unimportant to me. But it's a part of who I am. Imagine how people feel when they're told, well, I don't see color. I don't see you as black. You're articulate and you dress so nicely. Or your religion is unimportant. I just see you as human. We often settle for this theoretical equality and ignore the work that's required to get to equity. Equality ignores differences and gives everyone the same thing. Equity acknowledges difference and gives everyone what they need. Equality says love your neighbor as yourself. Equity says love your neighbor and ask them what they need and want. See, because I sometimes think stupid movies are wonderful. I go to them sometimes, they're funny. I have this job where I'm always supposed to be serious and smart somehow, and sometimes I just like to watch a stupid movie. My wife does not enjoy these movies. And because I love her, I don't do unto her as I would want her to do unto me. I just don't take her to stupid movies. And because she loves me, she allows me to go off and enjoy myself. And that's where we get to the level 4, the acceptance of difference. You know, that's just that kind of fascinating and learning thing. And this is a place where we often are in our worship services today, is kind of that experience. We're kind of trying out new things and hearing different words and words that we're not used to and melodies that are somewhat different than ours. And it's like we're open to this experience. And it's a thing where we get to look at the different things on our altar and see all the different things that are here. And it's a very nice place to be as well. But there still is a way to go deeper, because this is a way of observing, of partaking, participating. The danger in this area is cultural appropriation, saying, oh, here's a song from this other tradition, now it's ours. No, you have to kind of take a different attitude and go into it. And then to the 5th level of adaptation to difference. And this is consciously shifting perspectives and intentionally altering behavior. Right now, we're going to be inviting people into our community on April 4th to talk about Black Lives Matter. We'll have a big program on that. We're having forums and different things about that. But in addition to inviting people in, we're also telling each other what's out there in the community that we can go to, where we can, instead of practicing leadership, which UUs like to do, we like to be on the avant-garde, we like to study, become experts, and make presentations. We need to take more time to do followership, to enter into the experience of other people, to go to a Black Lives Matters meeting and sit with people and just be there and ask them, how can I help? Rather than say, hi, I'm here to help, and this is what I plan to do. We need to have a sense of cooperation and adapting, because so often white liberals rush into a place with their well-studied plan and step all over people and don't understand why they're not grateful. But we have to work in a way to be truly equal, where we enter in, we know it's not going to be easy, we know that we don't have all the answers, we know that someone might tell us, check your privilege, you don't understand, and we just have to say, okay, I don't have to be the expert. I'm going to be on a truly equal thing. I'm not here to help you as in give you something. I'm here to help us as a community grow. And so we don't avoid conflict, we step into it. And we realize that life continually has to be negotiated. Think of it like a marriage. In most fairy tales, people get married and live happily ever after. In real life, couples grow and change and need constantly to adjust. Successful couples embrace that process. And likewise, intercultural peace is not a state of being, it's a process that we commit to enter into. The work is never done. You're never at peace, because every mountain you climb, you get a view of more work to do. It's part of life itself. The work is never done, but the work is worthwhile.